Hello, I'm Julia from Brand Medicine International. Today I wanted to share with you some insights on the patient information experience, i.e. what it would be like if we were able to sit beside patients while they undertake that private consultation with Dr. Google about their disease. Now, in this case, we're going to be looking at what happens to patients who have cancer. As you can imagine, Google and other search engines are a vital source of information for them. It's available to them at their fingertips at a moment's notice, and it's private and it never judges the kind of questions that they ask. So let's just have a little look here at the context of those experiences that are undertaken as someone searches for information along different stages of the patient journey. So part of what I do when I undertake a search listening report for my clients is that I aim to understand the kind of questions that people are asking at all of these different stages. But we don't just consider the mechanics of the progression through different stages of diagnosis and treatment and things like that. We want to think about the whole person, because when we think about the whole person, then we're also considering the mindset and how they respond to the information that is being served up to them at different stages of that journey. So what I've done here is also consider the stages of grief and how they might influence the mindset of somebody and how they respond to that information. So one of the things that happens when someone reaches the last stage of grief is acceptance. And when they start to search for information around their disease state in relation to being at this point, they actually start referring to it as my diabetes or my high blood pressure or my cancer. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Because when you actually think about someone asking about my cancer and they turn to a search engine like Google, this is what comes up. My cancer story rocks is the top search result. My cancer story rocks blog, it comes up really high in the promoted search results. Now, someone who is searching for information online, in about 23% of the cases, they will gravitate towards an auto-suggest. And what happens then is that this auto-suggest feeds back positively to Google that this is what people were looking for. Now, if you imagine the mindset of someone who has cancer, what's happening for them is that they're in a state of potential desperation or they're seeking hope. And when they see something like this that is positive, it sounds very attractive to them. And so there's a high potential that they will click on this, and that's what happens. Because nobody has deprioritized this search result for people with cancer, because possibly no one's listening to the types of ways that people are searching around their disease. So while the oncology industry across the pharmaceutical companies is absolutely massive, no one's following this search term in the way of looking at it through the mindset of the patient and the behavior that they have and the way that they type that question in to find this is the place that they end up coming. So My Cancer Story Rocks is a blog. And this gentleman was told that he had no hope with his cancer. And he insists that people read the entire blog before they go and ask if they can join the Facebook page. And he talks about the fact that he had small cell lung cancer and he was told that what you have cannot be cured. And then he decided that he was going to explore different things, different options. And so I'm just following through here. Basically, he talks about his experience, where he was in this stage of the disease, and ultimately he decided that he knew how to use Google, and he started looking up information, and that's just like what's happening here with the kind of people who are looking it up. And again, he's been told there's no hope. And then He got hope from a veterinarian, apparently. So this is where things turn really interesting for evidence-based, clinical trial informed medications for patients in in the real world. And this person is talking about cancer research that's been undertaken by Merck Animal Health, and the case study of one person. Now look here, this is really interesting. He's actually got pack shots of these products on his blog. Now remember, this is someone who was starting to type in my cancer, and potentially they were going to talk about my cancer is in remission, or they could have been looking for anything particularly related, but they've been sent down this rabbit hole by a Google autosuggest that's offering them hope and now offering them a deeply irresponsible pathway that is not based on evidence, that is based on someone without healthcare credentials, and this is where they're ending up. So this is the product. He even has a link that you can buy this product. He even talks about sometimes you can buy the generic because the main one is not available all the time. And then he also suggests that people take curcumin and CBD oil. So in the blog comments here, what I find fascinating is people are asking questions like, well, if a 40-kilogram dog is going to take 2 of these tablets, how many of them should I take? It just blows my mind. I can't believe the amount of research that goes into oncology treatments for humans and into titrating the precise dose of the right therapy at the right time in someone's cancer journey, and all of the effort that goes into diagnosing that patient and then managing them. And then they're getting sent by Google by one query into this pathway. Now, what is really fascinating is that this gentleman also has a Facebook page. There's lots of product shots of this medication here. I'm just scanning down. His Facebook page only discusses his protocol. So when I last looked, it had well over 20,000 patients in it. It had only been up for about 1.5 years, and it was attracting about 500 new patients into that closed Facebook group every week. And with a strict guideline that they can only talk about his protocol, he won't even allow posts in that group to be published unless they're talking about this combination of this product. It's just amazing. So I just wanted to share this patient information experience with you, because I know a lot of the people that I've worked with over the years now work in the oncology sector, and you've got colleagues who do. And, cancer is one of the biggest killers. And it's really, really important that all of the scientific research that's gone into helping extend people's lives with cancer and improve the quality of their lives is that this has not been stymied by one simple search request that's very commonly undertaken by people who have cancer, because they've been sent down this pathway that's leading them to non-evidence-based, non-human therapies with additional combinations into that protocol that have serious side effects as well, especially when it's not under the care of a healthcare professional. So this is just food for thought. It's one example in one category of the kind of things that are happening with results from a poor patient information experience. And this is why I'm so passionate about search listening and mapping it to the patient journey, but also mapping it to those stages of grief, and truly understanding by putting ourselves in the feet of the patients, in the shoes of the patients, and watching it from their perspective as to the journey that they're going on, and considering how, as an industry, we might better understand those questions and then have a better chance to turn up with patient responsive content that ensures, a responsible pathway of information to be served back to those patients, as well as deprioritizing through reporting the kind of misinformation that is being commonly published out there. So thank you for your time on this session. I really hope that it was informative to you. It's definitely mind-blowing to me to see this kind of stuff come up, and I would certainly love to work with any of you who are watching this on search listening reports to inform your brand strategy and also to inspire your tactical planning. Thank you.